Welcome back and happy Independence Day, Nigeria. If you're just joining us, you're watching the news at 10 live on Channels Television. A reminder of our top stories. President Muhammadu Buhari says Nigeria has a lot to celebrate in its 58 years as a nation, shows of a brighter future for the country. President Muhammadu Buhari inspects a first Independence Anniversary Parade since assuming office in 2015. Covenant Christian Center's The Platform beams spotlight on young Nigerians making a difference outside the political landscape as Nigeria celebrates its independence anniversary. And search continues for survivors of Indonesia's tsunami, where no fewer than 1,200 people have been killed. ChannelsTV.com has more information for you, and on youtube.com/channelsweb you can watch our videos. You can also watch us on a mobile device via your browser or download the Channels TV app for Android, iOS and Windows devices from their respective stores. Besides giving you access to news updates on the go, the Channels TV and Channels 24 app have an eyewitness feature that you can use to share pictures, videos or news of happenings around you. Just install the app, then tap and swipe to reveal the menu and follow the instructions. More Nigerians are showing that change and impact can still be made outside of politics. And that's across the discussions at the 58th Independence Day edition of the Covenant Christian Center's program, The Platform, where young Nigerians who are not in the political landscape are making a difference in the nation.
The sleeping giant called Nigeria, wake up and rise.
The Covenant Christian Center's yearly program, The Platform, this year celebrates the new tribe of Africans who are fighting poverty and changing the face of the continent. The convener of the event, Pastor Pt.2 Oyemade, explains the reason for this year's theme.
The hope of the nations may not just rest in the hands of the politicians who hold political offices, but also small groups of people who organize themselves with the intention of bringing about a change within their communities.
The speakers share their success stories, how they are providing solutions to age-long problems in areas such as food waste, education, poverty, modern slavery and technology.
And will you vote in 2019 for candidates that prioritize people over profits and are not just simply benevolent dictators? Will you commit to using your social media platforms to raise awareness about trafficking?
Farmers in local communities not only are able to get access to this quality added fortified nutrition, food fortification, they are also able to do it themselves so that somebody else doesn't need to sell it to them. They have the tools, they have the mechanism to deploy it and fortify their food and are able to feed their children with high quality nutrition. We have to build these solutions and help our people. And that's why I'm passionate about the things that I'm doing.
The founder of Slum to School Foundation speaks on the reason for the birth of the organization.
When I got into Lagos, I went into Makoko and I was stunned by what I saw. I could see children who were not in school. I could see children who were just sitting at home, who were playing in the mud. And I told myself, this could be me.
I met Slum to School volunteers and they promised to enroll me into school, and they fulfilled their promise and enrolled me to primary school, and since then they have been helping and supporting my needs in school.
As they all share their experiences, one thing resonates from their diverse stories. Nigerians have to take the challenge to build the nation they desire themselves.
Now, what is responsibility? That's simple.
And as Nigeria celebrates her 58th independence anniversary, there has been a big question on how the country has fared as an entity. This and many others like devolution of powers, accurate head count of citizens and security challenges were some of the topics discussed at the Channels TV Forum today. Participants cut across a wide spectrum of professions and speakers at the Nigeria at 58 symposium bore their minds on how they feel about performance of the government of the day and what their hopes are for the future of Nigeria.
In terms of how to devolve powers, what you call devolution, we want the federal government to shed weight. It's bloated, and little things like birth registry should be determined in Abuja. We thought that was very funny. Nigeria might be the only federal setup like that in the world, where everybody has to hurry to the center in order to do things that the state or the constituent units should do. So there was a consensus that we need to strip the federal government of its overbearing and overarching powers. If we have a true federalism, some people don't want to hear that phrase, true federalism, we should not chafe under the ogre of a federal government that was suffused with powers, so much so that the constituent units will be emasculated. So again, we've not fine-tuned where we should go, but definitely what we have is nothing but a federal setup.
If you don't know how many people you are, then you can't even plan. So but the question is the ability and the willingness to be honest about the head count. So that's, I think we are lacking in that. There's no data integrity as far as the population is concerned. So
how do you plan?
No, we have to use
rough estimates.
No, anecdotal evidence rather than empirical evidence and proxies. So if you say that in Osun State they have a population of 5 million, and this was a highly contested election, and in all put together, we had about 500,000 to 600,000 people that voted, and 50% of the population above 18. So where did all of them go to? We go to Anambra State, we go everywhere, and then the anecdotal evidence does not support the empirical evidence. So the question of the truth and the inconvenient truth. So that's a starting point.
And we've maintained that, is that there is something about our military architecture that needs to be looked into in a way of an operational review in order to improve the quality of the leadership of the military establishment. Today, there is no consequence for failure. So you can fail and you would get decorated. It shouldn't be so. The person who needs to define how important the life of the Nigerian is, consistent with the fact that he swore to the Constitution to do that, is the president of this country.
We switch to politics now. The All Progressives Congress has postponed the governorship primaries for Lagos, Enugu and Adamawa states. In a statement, the party's acting National Publicity Secretary, Mr. Yakini Nabina, explains that the decision was taken by the National Working Committee of the party. The APC has also changed the mode of governorship primaries for Enugu and Adamawa states from indirect to direct primaries. While the Lagos governorship primary will now hold tomorrow, Tuesday, October 2nd, 2018, Enugu and Adamawa direct governorship primaries are to hold on Thursday, October 4th, 2018. When the news at 10 returns, Nigerian breweries reward journalists who have distinguished themselves in their jobs as watchdog of society. That's coming up after the break. Do join us again.